hunting, fishing, and everything outdoors. Experience the tradition. You're listening to the Green Top Outdoors Podcast with your host, Hunter Brooks.
Gary Arrington, welcome back to the Green Top Outdoors Podcast. We've been chatting all year. I know you've been a busy man. It's good to have you and the Hunters for the Hungry back again here on the Green Top Outdoors Podcast. How you been?
We've been busy, but we're good, and we're always blessed when we're here at Green Top or hanging out with you guys.
Well, thanks again for coming. I know you got a busy schedule. You try to plan your trips accordingly, and you had a good, hopefully a nice meeting with DWR earlier today, and also joining us, Todd Sadler. Todd, thanks for being back on as well.
Absolutely. Love being here on the podcast, and it's always a treat when Gary, when you're in town, it's always great to slide in here and grab a mic and see what's going on in the world of Hunters for the Hungry.
Yeah, and the MLB Hall of Pretty Good too.
Yeah.
Real quick, if you don't know what we're talking about, Gary's son, Bryce, runs the MLB Hall of Pretty Good on Instagram, and if you're into baseball, you ought to follow. You ought to check it out. It's awesome.
Yeah,
I'll just leave it at that.
It's his thing. It was his vision, and he has built it to be something that beyond anything I think he or I or his mom ever dreamed of.
I don't think he's even scratched the surface yet on that. I think it is going to catch fire and just keep blowing up. He's doing a heck of a job on that.
Well, it's like I said, Hunters for the Hungry's got about 80 followers on Instagram, and I think he picked up 10,000 in the last week or two. So.
Got one more a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah. So, Gary, what's been going on so far this year, man? How are things with Hunters for the Hungry, and are you excited about hunting season?
Well, as a hunter, I'm always excited about hunting season.
Yeah.
As director of Hunters for the Hungry, I'm excited because it's our busiest time. We can get pretty overwhelmed, with between the deer and making sure that the dollars come in. Unfortunately, historically, I put together a budget late December, early January. Our board approves it around the 1st of February, and then we've just got to say, Lord, you know what the need is. Meet it. And so, normally probably 65 to 70% of our whole budget for the year comes in the last 4 months of the year. So it can keep you a little bit, a little anxiety, but at the same time, getting that money then into the season gifts or into the year gifts rather is good because that's when we're getting all the bills from all the hunters that donate and the processors sending us bills.
Yeah. And we usually do it at the end, but if people want to donate, what are some of the different or various ways people can donate?
Well, we have to have a QR code now. We got it on our brochure. People can go to our Facebook page and then go to our website. They can mail in gifts. You'd be surprised. We get that little mail system that lets us know how many pieces we're getting each day. And also we get excited when we can look at that email that morning and see that, we got 10 or 15 pieces of mail and some good gifts coming in to us. So,
that's good.
We just got a number of ways that people can. They can buy raffle tickets. We still sell our merchandise. It's offered here at Green Top. Our cookbooks, we've got those, and I think you guys carry our cookbook too. So that's a number of ways that people can support our efforts.
Right, and for years, I know folks always associate Hunters for the Hungry with those drop off areas where you can drop off, you can donate your deer, your field dress deer to those areas, and it feeds those that are in need, right? But as I'm sitting here looking over some of the information you brought us, this one line here really stands out to me. The program needs deer and dollars.
We do.
Yeah, it's deer and dollars because, with all these donations, they're great, they're wonderful, they're phenomenal, they're needed. God knows they're needed. But these processors that are out there that are helping you work with the program, they're working with you. They're extending some really deep discounts to help the program rather go as far as it can and reach as many people as it can. But at the end of the day, those folks have bills to pay too. And, and there's that money that you need to be able to pay that bill to get these deer turned into meals out to folks that really need it. So that's it, folks. We need the deer and the dollars for Hunters for the Hungry.
And Todd, you mentioned about the processors. I refer to them as our unsung heroes.
Yep.
They are the men and women on the front lines. They accept those deer on our behalf. They make sure we're getting a good quality product. They work their magic to skin, cut, wrap, and have that meat frozen. The sad part is, and we were talking about this with DWR this morning, we are losing processors much more than what we would ever like. older folks, they're aging out of it, and sad to say, very few young people are coming along behind them. Yeah, it's laborious, it's hard work, but it is lucrative. And so, we're not sure. The downside is we're losing more processors, and the other side of that sword is that I just enrolled two more feeding programs. So the need for the food is great, and we need those processors. So we're always encouraging people. You don't have to hunt. If you know of a processor in your area, somebody that's processing deer, please have them get in touch with us, or get in touch with us and let us call them, because we really need it. It's a dying art form, as I say.
Yeah. How was last year?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
We exceeded our 200,000 pound goal. Again, we did 205,248 pounds. Of course, we always coincide with the deer kill. It was up 10%.
Yep.
So we were up. The sad part is, and you hit on it earlier, these processors give us a break, but their costs have gone up too. Their labor costs, paying electric bills to run coolers and freezers, their material costs. So they've had to pass that on to us. And that means our processing costs have gone up. We were $78,000 over our processing budget alone last year.
Oh,
however, we were blessed. The dollars came in, and we were not forced to turn down any deer. We were able to take every deer donated to us all the way through March. Now, that left us starting the year not really where we had wanted to, as far as our funds. So we're hoping that, our events, as people are blessed and they see a need, that they would donate, some money to us, because, the busy seasons get ready to start. And I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but I drove out of my yard or neighborhood this morning, and I saw 4 different pairs of fawns.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of deer, and
That's
they
right.
need to be managed. And so we know that once hunters fill up their freezers or that of their family members that they want to keep hunting, they got a way to donate those deer to us, and we just need to make sure we got the dollars so we can take them all.
Yeah.
And, I'm a numbers guy. I geek out on numbers pretty hard. And I heard you say earlier, you asked you how the year was, and you exceeded that 200,000 pound goal, right? I'm sitting here looking through some of the stuff that you brought in, and I think you're running like a 5-year average of like 188,000 pounds donated per year. You donated 200, or Virginia, you folks out there, you donated over 205,000 pounds of venison this year. And this is the thing that's cool for me. This is the number that always blows my mind. With that, it's you guys, you equate it into quarter-pound servings, right?
Yep.
So with that, according to what you brought here, last year, you folks out there that were willing to take your time, your efforts, and donate, that provided over 820,992 quarter-pound servings for those people here in Virginia that needed that. That's the difference that those folks out there made. And what an incredible program.
Yeah, when you think of the men, women, children, the elderly, the homeless, and our veterans, we've got several places across the state, and the majority of the people they serve are veterans. And that's just near and dear to us, that, nobody should be struggling with food insecurity here in Virginia or in our nation. And hunters, when they donate that deer, they might say, well, it's just another deer. No, for us, it's just another bunch of meals that we can give to somebody that needs it.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, the numbers are crazy, Gary. This is fantastic. Congratulations. But thanks and congratulations to everybody else who contributed. And whatever they did to make this happen. It's incredible.
Well, it's not a Gary thing. You know, I've been with the program 25 years. We've been in existence for 35, but I tell people it takes a village.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for partners that support us like Green Top, the hunters that donate, the feeding programs that work with us to pick up the meat, and then those precious processors that give us a break, and they also do such great work to get that meat ready so that we can give it to these food banks at no cost.
Yeah, that's incredible. What else is going on with the organization right now? What do you guys need right now? I know you're always looking for more processors.
Yep.
For 35 years, man, it's been a long ride, and for you for 25 years, but what's the organization looking for? Things are constantly changing. Like you said, expenses, costs are going up. What are you guys looking? What do you guys need right now?
Well, I mean, Todd hit the nail on the head. I mean, you know, we continue to need deer. We got to have that protein because the number of feeding programs we're enrolling continues to increase. We got to have the dollars. We want to make sure that even if our expenses go up, which we know they're justified by processor needs and their bills are going up too, we need dollars. We were talking with DWR this morning about some volunteers. I personally need somebody to help me. You know, we've had a couple of folks that have worked for us, and it's tough. You know, we were talking earlier about losing 3 days of my vacation this year. This program becomes a part of who you are.
Yeah.
It has become such a big part of my life. And we've had a couple of other folks we've hired, and it just hasn't worked out for them. I mean, it's been amenable, but one of them commented, the last guy we had said, until he walked through the door and sat down and spent time here at doing our work, he said he had no idea what we had to do.
Yeah.
And it just was pretty overwhelming. It wasn't going to be, you know, conducive to his family life and what he'd been used to, and we respect that. So, you know, if we can find somebody we need, because right now, one of the other things we talked about with DWR is Gary Arrington is trying to be the director, run all the events, and try to keep up with our social media. And the job I've done with our social media to make people more aware of the fact that we're canning, and we've been doing chili. And just the last 3 weeks, we've done 2 runs of venison spaghetti sauce. We're putting venison in a can. Well, you ain't heard nothing about it because I took a lot of photos, but I haven't put anything together. So, you know, we need to do a better job of messaging. And so, you know, we're looking for somebody for 2 reasons: to come in, take care of a lot of that work for us, to learn the fundraising aspect. But most importantly, we need somebody to take this thing over. I just turned 64 back on Memorial Day. And, you know, my board knows that I go at it hard, and I'm not going to just leave it, you know, but I would like to think I could give it, you know, 3 or 4 more years, and we'd have somebody in place. And we need, you know, just a good young person that wants to devote their life to making an impact in other people's lives.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you got somebody, you know, that just might have a calling in their heart that they would like to, you know, get in touch with us and see what they can do, we'd love to talk to them.
Yeah. All right. Well, great. That's good to know, man. Because you know, having an impact not just in a local area but statewide, it requires lots of hard work, like you said. But man, it's, you know, the support that you get from the clubs and the organizations and stores and whoever is important. So
right now, there's 2.
Yeah.
There's me and one other person trying to run this program for the entire state.
Wow.
I do all the speaking engagements, whether it's a Rotary, Ruetan, Kiwanis, Hunt Club, whatever. So to have even some volunteers that might be willing to do some speaking on our behalf, you know, whether it's a church program or whatever. So anybody that feels like, hey, you know, God's laid it on my heart I can do something, I can help fill a niche and give you a little support with the skills and the gifts I've been given, then for goodness sake, get in touch with us.
Good. All right. So, you know, what we looking at the stats, which, you know, when you start reading these stats, I mean, Todd, I mean, you brought it up, man. You're a numbers guy. Very impressive stuff. I mean, you know, you got, since 1991.
These numbers are wild that you're getting ready to rattle off here.
Yeah, over 8.3 million pounds has allowed for over 33.4 million quarter-pound servings to be provided for men, women, and children throughout Virginia. And you know, and then it's, you know, another notable stat: a large mature deer donated to the program can yield an average of 38 to 40 pounds of venison for the program. Some people don't even realize that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's where we do encourage hunters, you know. And again, our processors are our frontline heroes. You know, we tell hunters, if you're going to donate a deer to us, keep in mind that if they're charging me, because our processing costs on average from last year, we were averaging $63 a deer, which was $1.63 a pound. To this year, it's $71, and it's gone to $1.88.
Oh, wow.
So you can see even at that, and one of the things that we are proud of is that right now we keep our costs low. We're doing deer for $1.88 a pound, and I just was writing a grant and did some research. The average median cost of all cuts of beef right now is $9.64 a pound as of June the 1st, and we're doing venison for $1.88. Wow. When you figure in every cost we got, administrative, salaries, everything, we're doing venison right now for $3.51 a pound. When you figure cuts of beef at $9.64, and I heard I had a processor tell me, he said, "You wait till next year." He said beef's going to go up even higher.
Yeah.
So we just feel like we got a great product. It's healthy. It's a God-given, renewable, natural resource, and it's much needed.
Yep.
And when we can give that meat to these food banks and church pantries, it frees up budget dollars for them so they can use that money to buy more food essentials and makes their dollars go further.
Yes.
So that's kind of where we feel like, we make an even bigger impact when we can have that meat to give to them.
And you talk about the impact, and where all of this meat is going once it's processed and all. It looks like, when I look at this, you have over 60 different agencies. And you said you picked up another one earlier. Over 60 different agencies that distribute this meat to places.
And that's our major ones.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So it's more than that.
Underneath those umbrellas, like if you take Feeding America or Feed More, they may have little member agencies underneath. They may have 500. So in all total, you're probably talking 2,500 statewide. I have it's not a little booklet anymore. I call it my little Bible that I have during the hunting season, and every processor is assigned feeding programs in their county, which keeps it local or whoever's in close proximity. So that way, if, let's say, Hunter's Burden up in Montgomery County, Tony calls and says, "I've got 3,000 pounds of meat." Well, I'll pull him up and look, and I can go down and I can pick out in order. I can call those feeding programs to make sure that everybody gets some.
That's good.
And when we enroll a feeding program, I need to know, number one, that they're a 501c3. What's your mission? What are you doing? How many people are you feeding a week or a month? Are you feeding every Thursday? What's your freezer capacity? So that if I know if they can hold 1,000, well, then I can call them up. They can go get 1,000 pounds of that. And then we'll go down the next group. Might can't take but 500. But we try to ensure that every feeding program that has enrolled with us, that they get some meat. Because my way of looking at it is, it might be a little small church pantry out in the middle of Patrick County, but there's some families in that community that rely on us to give them that meat.
Absolutely.
So we try to make sure we distribute it statewide.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, the stats are just crazy. Man.
Yeah, and to think about the sustainability, 35 years.
I know.
Right? And I don't mean to brag about it, but there's about 38 other states that have similar wild game, Hunters for the Hungry kind of based feeding programs.
Yeah.
And we get together either by Zoom or whatever, but and sometimes we have a little conference and get together, and it's always good to share. But you know what? When you look at what we've done because of the generosity of the hunters and the donors in this state, we put most every other state to shame with what we do, the impact we make.
With very few
We're
people.
right at the top.
Yeah, when you look at these numbers and you hear, one more time for all those that are listening, how many people are running this program with you? Two. That is the definition, if you look in Webster's dictionary, of efficiency.
Yeah. Well, and
absolutely
if you think
unreal.
about dedication,
Right.
We have only had, not counting, we had one that worked 30 days and one that worked a little over a year, but we've only had 5 people that's worked with this program in 35 years. And most places can't say that. I've got 25. Our former director had 28. The girl that just retired, that battled cancer and survived it and decided she was going to leave, she had 22. So, David Horn founded it.
Yeah.
And then now you got Amy Clark with me, and that's it.
Wow, man. That's wow. That's just crazy.
And I think personally, this is just me. This is my brain, the way my brain works here. I get to sit down at this table with Hunter with a good number of folks within the industry, whether it be shooting sports, archery, hunting, fishing, whatever it is. And you get to see people that are in their element and they love what they do. They enjoy what they do. They're passionate about what they do. But every year when I sit at this table and you're at the other end of this table with a microphone there, it's easy for me to see why this program, and there's no ease to it, right? But it's easier for me to see why this program has been as successful as it has, as efficient as it has, for those in need in the state of Virginia for 35 years. When I see someone as fired up, as passionate, someone that is as called to service the way you are and the way you embrace that, it's incredible to see. And I feel like that's why this program is as successful as it is. It impacts as many people as it does and makes the difference in as many lives as it does. It's because, of someone that's willing to pour themselves into the service like you do. So thank you for all of that. Absolutely incredible to sit here at this table with you every year and to see the things you're doing for those that are in need.
Well, I appreciate that, but again,
I know it's not a you thing.
It's not a me thing. It takes that village, and we could not do it without.
But I think it's you and the people around you. And that other person.
I am very
around
blessed.
You right now.
Yeah. She puts up with me every day. Bless her heart. so do you guys. When I'm down here begging or something.
Man, we love you, Gary.
Well, the door swings both ways.
Now you talk about begging. You don't always have to beg. Of course, there's lots of ways to donate, and I think here, you brought in a pamphlet, you brought in a flyer for another way that you can possibly support Hunters for the Hungry this year. What you got there?
Yeah, so this is what the Sporting Clays benefits shoot that who's putting that on, Gary?
Well, it's Hunters for the Hungry.
Right.
We got a fellow named Glenn Tharp. Glenn, he's a machinist that works for a company, but he just has a passion for this. If I get him to move to Bedford, I'd hire him. But he has single-handedly done this event every year now for about 10 years. And it's not so much about the money. He raises a lot of money. But to see the work that he puts into this, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he's a big shooter. He loves to go out and shoot sporting clays. Flying Rabbit has picked it up, and so we hold it at their facility there in Harrisonburg. And it's right before dove season. So if you want to get tuned in, get that smell of gunpowder in your nostrils and get fired up, you can come out there. For the $85, you get 100 rounds, 100 clays. You get lunch. We got, we'll have hot dogs, hamburgers, soft drinks, water, and we do a Lewis class scoring system in 5 classes. So if you stink at it like me, you still got a chance of taking home a plaque because of the way we score it out,
Right.
So, but yeah, it's just a great day of fellowship. Glenn gets a ton of prizes for the raffle, and so we have a raffle. We do a little raffle on a muzzleloader, and so yeah, it's just a good day of fellowship, and it's amazing. We do raise money.
Yeah.
I think I was telling y'all earlier. We've got the Hill City Howlers. It used to be the Lynchburg Hillcats, and just back first part of July, we did Hunters for the Hungry night there.
That's awesome.
Mossy Oak sponsored the jerseys for the second year.
That's great.
So we had Mossy Oak Breakup Country jerseys. The players wanted to buy their own jerseys, even though we were doing a jersey auction.
That's
I think
awesome,
11 of them on the team bought their own jersey.
That's great.
Because they loved it. But, we had 50 prizes there. We did a raffle. We had the players autographed bats and balls. They donate a skybox. So we did a silent auction on those. We did a 50-50. And we'll probably raise $8,000 or $9,000, which is great. But you would not believe the awareness that we raised when you had a group of Lynchburg college kids that rolled in there to watch a ball game, and they started asking questions, and we get to address the group and tell them what we ought to do. And some of those young people came up and said, we had no idea.
Yeah.
And you got a chance to share with them.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so maybe that young person might say, hey, I want to start doing something for Hunters for the Hungry.
Yeah.
So, we raise dollars, but we raise a lot of awareness. And
That's great.
Just like with this podcast, making people more aware, and the hunters know it. They're facing a lot.
Yep.
As I was talking to DWR back when I was a game warden, we called them game wardens back then.
That's right.
About 12 to 14% of the entire population was made up of hunters. It's less than 6%. And I'm like Jethro. My gazendas ain't the best. But you know what? Who's got more pull politically and all, and there's so many things that we're trying to navigate.
Yeah.
So, to me, hunters supporting us doesn't just help us, but it makes an impact in their community.
Yeah.
But it does help us make a difference. And very few people, whether anti-hunting or not, can say anything bad about a hunter feeding a needy child.
Yep, exactly. And you keep bringing up that C word, community. That's what this is. Whether it's as small as just the Hunters for the Hungry community, to the hunting community, to the outdoor community, or just the plain old, hey, we like to help people community. I mean, that's what it's all about. And, being able to be a part of something to where you are, you're feeding a child or feeding a family in need. It's something special to that too. I mean, and I think having that mentality and to know that I'm going into this deer season, donating to the organization, and I'm gonna harvest a deer or 2 or 3, and I'm gonna donate those deer to Hunters for the Hungry. I mean, it's because you enjoy being a part of that community, whatever community that is. I don't know. It's special.
Well, and we're I showed you in our newsletter. We're doing these new initiatives with canning. We've got canneries across the state that they're underutilized.
Yeah.
So we decided that we're finding out a lot of families that that these feeding programs are serving, they don't even have refrigeration in their homes. So, but you can put a can of stew, venison soup, venison chili, and our latest creation has been venison spaghetti sauce. And even these feeding programs that don't have a lot of freezer space, they got shelves. And they can put those cans on their shelves, and they make a difference. And it's really neat to see how well received that is by communities all across the state when they say, oh, wow, a can of chili, it's venison chili. Yeah. A hunter had to go take their firearm or their bow and harvest that deer, and we utilize it to feed and make a difference in somebody's life. And so whether, again, if a hunter can donate 3 or 4 deer, and I know as a hunter, man, I blow money on stuff that I don't have a need for at all.
Yeah.
And if they can send us $5, to help us cover that processing, it makes a difference. It all adds up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's something to think about too. When we do the initiatives here, when you come into Green Top or wherever you might be, but when you do the initiatives here, and we got those young folks up at the front counter that ask if you'd like to donate to Hunters for the Hungry today, it's that easy. How much money did we just spend on that new game camera or that new Sitka jacket? Does that really make the difference? Does it? I don't know. But
$1.
But I'm saying on
Three
that
meals.
Sitka jacket,
Right.
does it make the difference?
Yeah.
But that $1, that $5 donation to Hunters for the Hungry, man, that could really make not just a difference, an impact, a huge impact. So food for thought for what it is.
That's right. Exactly what it is.
Yeah, to think for every $1, we do 3 of those quarter-pound servings we've been talking about.
Yeah.
For a buck.
For that.
You think about, you can't even get a nothing off the dollar menu
The
for
dollar
a
menus,
dollar.
they don't exist anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
So for every $1, you can feed
We can do 3 quarter-pound servings.
3 quarter-pound servings.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Good stuff there. Hey, circling back to that Sport and Clay benefit shoot that you were talking about, that is going to be hosted Saturday, August 29th at Flying Rabbit Sporting Clays in Mount Crawford, Virginia. The registration will start at 8:30 that day. Folks, if there is limited registration available, but if you want to be part of this, if you want to be part of this effort to help raise money for Hunters for the Hungry, get out there, get tuned up, get that gunpowder smell in your nose. You want to do that. You can check out registration and all at www.h4hungry.org. Check that out there and get your information. Get in, signed up. Slots are limited. So don't waste time. Get out there, do it.
Can you still donate when you buy a hunting license too?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
And
the neat thing about it is it used to be $2, and then they went, it's unlimited.
Yeah.
So you can donate. I mean, if you were so blessed, you can say, hey, add $100 onto that.
Yep.
And we do get that. I mean, I know people have said, oh, well, DWR, they're navigating some budget things too right now.
Sure.
But let me tell you, we get that money every month, or no less than quarterly, every 2 months. But they send us a check for all that licensed dollars. It is earmarked, and they send it directly to Hunters for the Hungry.
Good to hear.
And we have it logged in. So if people want to know, we can tell them, yeah, this is what we got this month and that month. And so, yeah, it's added up. The thing that has been a little disappointing since we touched on that, is when I look at when David Horn was sick and got sick with cancer, he was working on this legislation. Well, he passed away before it was completed. Well, it was completed, it was passed, and it became law. So they can do the $2. Well, then they went back and added an amendment for as much as you want. Do you know in Arkansas, they do $1, and they have raised over $1 million for their Hunters for the Hungry program.
Holy cow.
We in Virginia can do unlimited, and I think we've been doing it longer than they have if I remember correctly, by a few years, and we've raised somewhere over $500,000. So I just believe, I challenge every hunter. You go buy your license and you think about, like you're talking about that Sitka jacket or whatever.
Yep.
Tell them to add $2 or $5 or whatever to that license when you buy it.
Yeah.
And see if that don't help make a difference. It'll really will. I just know that with our hunters, the generous hunters we got, we ought to be over $1 million too.
Plus, man, it's good karma. It'll come back to you, man, in the woods, man, some way, shape, or form. It's good.
You heard it right here. 12-point bucks.
That's it.
First, it's a first right here.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I just think it's an easy way to do it. If you want to contribute, you want to donate. If you can't do it through the site or Facebook, you're going to buy a license this year. There's your chance right there.
Yep.
Do as much as you're willing to do, or much as you're able to do. And because like we've been talking about, it's going to a very, very good cause. Gary, thanks again for being here today. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're running all over the state, man. We appreciate what you do, and we appreciate how hard you work. That's why we're always trying to do our best to help you guys out in this organization.
Well, you guys mean a tremendous lot, as well as all the people who have done what they've done, whether it's donating a deer or $1 or just keeping us in their prayers, that we've been able to make a difference, and we're thankful for all of them.
Well, thanks again for being here. We truly appreciate it, and good luck this hunting season.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got some on my hit list
Already. I love it.
Yeah, they're in my neighborhood.
Well,
they taunt me right now.
Yeah, Todd and I, we've been on a mission this summer to get everybody ready, to reminding everybody to be ready tomorrow. Start getting ready for hunting season now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's so that you don't wait, you don't procrastinate, and you're not late to the woods.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys are the best. We appreciate you.
Thanks for being here, Gary.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Gary.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Hunting, fishing, and everything outdoors. Experience the tradition. You're listening to the Green Top Outdoors Podcast with your host, Hunter Brooks.